Good afternoon, children. Welcome to AIMS India's online session, Biology, Nutrition in Plants. So we have discussed nutrition in plants is of two types. What are they? Autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. The autotrophic nutrition takes place by means of a process called photosynthesis, during which the inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll undergoes photosynthesis reaction and produce products glucose or starch, and oxygen is released during the process. And in the heterotrophic nutrition, non-green plants are involved. Okay, in this video let us discuss more about this photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. The leaves are known as the kitchen or food factories of plants because photosynthesis takes place in leaves. Leaves look green because of presence of chlorophyll pigment, a green pigment called chlorophyll. What do you call the leaves? Leaves are otherwise called kitchen, where food is manufactured, or they are also called food factories of the plants. Why? Because the food is manufactured in the leaves by means of a process called photosynthesis. So this photosynthesis is possible because of the pigment chlorophyll. Besides leaves, photosynthesis takes place in other green parts of the plant also, such as green stems or herbaceous stems. The chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Hence, the photosynthesis takes place only in green plants because green plants possess chlorophyll. So the leaves of plants that grow in desert areas, they are modified into spine like structures or scales to reduce the loss of water in the course of transpiration, because these plants, for example cacti or cactus, so these plants live in the desert where the conditions are very hot. So to overcome that hot, because of the plants live in water scarce areas, to reduce a process called transpiration. What is transpiration? Means the process of elimination of excess of water in the form of water vapor, through leaves is called as transpiration. As we discussed that photosynthesis, leaves involve in three main functions. One is photosynthesis, second one is transpiration, third one is respiration. Okay, transpiration will cools the plant, but particularly in the leaves tiny holes are present. What are they called? Stomata. If the leaves are present, then the plant will lose more water, so that the leaves are reduced into spines. So in that case, the photosynthesis also taking place in the leaves. So that photosynthesis function has to be undertaken by some other part of the plant, otherwise the plant cannot survive. So for that purpose the stem is modified. In these leaves are modified to spines, and the stem is modified such that it can store water, and it also contains green pigment called chlorophyll, or chloroplasts are present in the stem itself, so that the plant undergo photosynthesis. Okay. So it's a modification in the desert plants, not only the cactus, opuntia. Okay, in some other almost most of the plants in the desert, they are they show some adaptations. Okay. Next, further discussion of photosynthesis. In such plants, means in desert plants, the photosynthesis takes place by green stems. The photosynthesis helps to maintain the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide. It is the advantage of photosynthesis. The percentage of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere is maintained balance. By which process? By photosynthesis. How? Because during photosynthesis carbon dioxide is absorbed and oxygen is released. So do you know, let us know some interesting fact in the plants like pine trees. The pine trees and other conifers. Conifers means the plants which live on the hills. So conifers have evolved to grow in a triangular shape because of photosynthesis. They are very green, evergreen plants. The tree's shape exposes most of its needle-like leaf, especially the ones near the top. Here you can see the top where the leaves are exposed. Okay, so needle like, so that the more sunlight can be absorbed. Okay, that's why these are called they attain the shape of a cone. They are called conifers. They are called conifers. Next, conditions for photosynthesis or requirements of photosynthesis. Our Earth is the only unique planet where photosynthesis takes place. In the absence of photosynthesis, life would not be possible on Earth, isn't it? Definitely. Following are the necessary conditions for photosynthesis to be taken place. In order to undergo the photosynthesis, the following conditions are required. What are they? Presence of sunlight, presence of chlorophyll, presence of water, presence of carbon dioxide. There are 4 main conditions necessary. What are they? Sunlight, chlorophyll, water, carbon dioxide. These are the 4 necessary conditions in order to undergo photosynthesis. The byproducts of photosynthesis are oxygen and water. In the reaction we have studied yesterday, let us recall the reaction. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. So the byproducts, main product is glucose. The byproducts are oxygen and water. But don't forget to write sunlight and chlorophyll on the arrow mark. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll only, the process takes place. Okay. So these two, oxygen and water, water in the form of water vapor, will be released through the stomata, the kidney shaped. On the surface of the leaf there are tiny holes, they are called stomata. So during daytime this oxygen and water will be released through the stomata, because during daytime only the photosynthesis takes place, the products are formed. Okay. The food that has been made is sent to other parts of the plant through veins. Very important. What are veins? Veins are the tube like structures which are present in yesterday's class we have studied xylem vessels. Okay, in the veins only, the middle. So if you see the back portion of the leaf, you will find some root like appearance, some branches you will see on the leaf, light color. So the middle one is called as veins, and they are divided into veinlets. So they contain a tissue called phloem tissue, which transport the food material or the end product of photosynthesis to different cells of the plant. Okay, from leaves to roots, branches and other parts of the plant. Okay. So the conditions for photosynthesis, what are the main conditions? Sunlight, chlorophyll, water, carbon dioxide. Okay, let us proceed, children. Photosynthesis in algae. Algae, where do you find the algae? Algae are green organisms. They are present in the form of a layer in the stagnant water like ponds and ditches. The green patches which we see in ponds or near the stagnant water can be seen easily. So these green patches are living organisms. They are called algae or alga. Alga means singular, algae means plural. These green algae, like this, like patches they are present. They are different like diatoms, one type of green algae. They are called Spirogyra. They are filamentous algae, Chlamydomonas. Okay, like that the different algae you will see in the stagnant water. On the stagnant water, a layer of green patch, that is called green algae. So algae are plants. They often algae grow near the shallow waterlogged areas such as near tube wells, taps. One may slip also. Sometimes they are very slippery because this algae, slimy layer is present on this algae. So sometimes you may fall down also. In the house also, where the water always stagnate, there these algae will grow. Okay, the small spores of these algae, when they fall on the suitable substratum or water, they germinate to form the algae. They are filamentous living organisms, thread like organisms. They live in groups. Okay, algae look like green because of presence of chlorophyll. Algae prepare their own food by a process called photosynthesis. Don't think that only there are green algae. There are red algae also there, the blue algae also there. There are different types of algae depending upon the type of pigment present in it. Okay, If the carotenoids are present, red or orange color. Okay, so there are different classification of algae is there, which you are going to study in higher classes. But whatever it may be, the green algae undergo photosynthesis. Next, synthesis of food other than carbohydrate. So we are in an opinion that the plants synthesize food material by a process called photosynthesis. The carbohydrate is the main product of photosynthesis. But the plants need proteins also. They need different types of nutrients. Plants need proteins. So these proteins, fats, besides carbohydrates, plants also need proteins and fats. The proteins are nitrogenous substances which contain nitrogen. Although nitrogen is present in abundance in atmosphere, but the plant cannot absorb the atmospheric nitrogen. Plant gets nitrogen only from the soil. So what is the main function of roots? To absorb the water and minerals present in the soil. So the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere is in the form of N2, elemental form. In that form, though it is 70% and above present in the atmosphere, but it is of zero use, no use for the plant. But the plant use the nitrogen only in the form of compounds. Okay, nitrates and nitrites, in the form of nitrates and nitrites. So certain type of bacteria, so in order to use that nitrogen, the plants take help. Certain type of bacteria called rhizobium bacteria are present in the soil. It's a free living bacteria. They convert the gaseous nitrogen into usable form and release it into the soil. Okay, the nitrogen present in the atmosphere is trapped by the rhizobium bacteria present in the soil and convert that gaseous nitrogen into usable form and release it into the soil. That's why it is a very useful bacteria. The plants absorb these soluble forms of nitrogen along with water and other minerals through their roots. Okay, these plants absorb that usable form of nitrogen with the help of roots. The minerals or the soil water containing minerals is absorbed by the roots of the plant. Sometimes you might have seen the farmers adding nitrogenous fertilizers like urea, NPK, okay, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So sometimes the farmers add nitrogenous fertilizers to their fields to fulfill the need of nitrogen, After the fulfillment of all nutrients, the plant synthesize proteins and fats. So this is the concept. So we have concluded that in the photosynthesis carbohydrates only form, but plant also need proteins and fats also required. So how they are produced in the plants means they are absorbed from the roots, from the soil. Okay, so after absorption they help in the formation of particularly what is present in the fats and proteins. Of course fats also containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but especially proteins contain nitrogen. So nitrogen is one of the important requirement for the formation of proteins in the plants. so that nitrogen requirement can be fulfilled by or supplemented by adding fertilizers to the soil. If the soil is fertile, then it contains more nitrogen in it. If the soil loses the fertility after every crop, then the farmer has to add some supplementary nutrients in the form of fertilizers. So these fertilizers of two types, chemical fertilizers and biofertilizers. Biofertilizers can be made from plant and animal debris, okay, by decomposition. Here also again bacteria and some saprophytes like earthworm, they decompose that organic matter, so that is supplied to the plant's field. Okay, so this is let us go for the next mode of nutrition, heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Till now we have studied autotrophic nutrition. Now heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants. The modes of nutrition in non-green plants is the mainly heterotrophic. Some plants do not have chlorophyll, hence they cannot synthesize their food by themselves, so they has to depend on other organisms for their food requirement. Such plants are known as non-green plants. The name itself is indicating they don't have chlorophyll, hence they are called non-green plants. So they depend on other organisms for food. Such plants use heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, what is heterotrophic mode of nutrition? The mode of nutrition in which the organism depends on other organisms for its food requirement is called heterotrophic nutrition. So plants, not all plants, certain non-green plants are heterotrophic. They perform heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Example, fungi. Fungi are also living organisms, belongs to plant group. Certain bacteria, they also belongs to plant group because of presence of their cell structure similar to plants, they are included in the plant kingdom. Okay, so here fungi, it grows where do you find these fungi? These are specially, they are called mushrooms. Mushrooms are the fungi. Where do you find? They grow on the dead organic matter of plants and animals. They absorb the nutrients from the decomposed organic matter. So they are also called saprophytes. They are called saprophytes. The further we are going to discuss about different types of heterotrophic nutrition in plants, or different examples. Like fungi, they undergo saprophytic nutrition, and certain plants called parasites, they undergo parasitic nutrition. They also depend on other plants like host and parasite relationship there. Next, insectivorous plants. It is also certain group of plants which feed on insects to fulfill their nitrogen requirement. Okay, so heterotrophic mode of nutrition is seen in non-green plants. Okay children, today what we have learnt, let us recall. Involve actively in the quiz. Try to answer the questions. Which of these will not affect photosynthesis? Light, temperature, glucose availability, carbon dioxide. Which will not affect the photosynthesis among these four? Is it light? No. Temperature? No. Carbon dioxide? No. These are essential requirements. Optimum temperature, light and carbon dioxide are required. So here the answer is glucose availability. Glucose availability will not affect the photosynthesis. C is the correct answer. Next, if a plant receives more carbon dioxide, what happens to the rate of photosynthesis? What happens? If more carbon dioxide is available, the rate of photosynthesis will increase or decrease or stays the same or none of these. What happens if more raw material is available? More products are produced. So, increases. The rate of photosynthesis increases. Next, which of the following would have affect the rate of photosynthesis? Amount of water, carbon dioxide concentration, temperature, and all of these. Which of the following would affect the rate of photosynthesis? So these are all called the limiting factors of photosynthesis. So all of these: amount of water, concentration of carbon dioxide, and the temperature. These are the factors affecting the photosynthesis. Next, which of the following would have affect the rate of photosynthesis? So the repeated all the above. Why do plants carry out photosynthesis? Why do plants carry out photosynthesis, children? To make energy, to make oxygen, to make sugar, to make water. Why do plants carry out photosynthesis? In order to prepare the food material. What is that food material? Sugar. So, to make sugar. The right option is C. What is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis? To produce sugar, to trap heat energy, to trap light energy, or to trap water molecules. What is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis? Think. Yes. To trap the solar energy, light energy. That's why the leaf, you observe the leaf, how all leaf is always seeing the sky, exposed to the sunlight. So to trap that light energy will help in the process of photosynthesis. What is the source of energy for photosynthesis? Light energy or solar energy. It is a universal source of energy for all living organisms on the earth. In a food chain, what is come? You studied in 6th class. What is starting organism in the food chain? Producers. What are producers? Green plants. Okay. So the solar energy is observed by the plants first, then that is called harvesting of solar energy. Solar energy is harvested first by the plants. In the ecosystem, the solar energy first trapped by the plants. From the plants it is passed to the next consumers. Remaining organisms are called consumers. Plants are called producers. Next, which energy conversion occurs as a result of photosynthesis? Chemical energy to heat energy to light energy, light energy to chemical energy to mechanical energy. Okay, here what transformation of energy is taking place? Transformation. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed, but It can be transformed from one form to other form. It is a universal law of energy. So here, during photosynthesis, light energy is converting into chemical energy during the photochemical reaction called photosynthesis. Next, which of the following is the limiting factor of photosynthesis? Means most important. Availability of carbon dioxide, availability of oxygen, availability of sugar, availability of water. So, availability of carbon dioxide is the limiting factor. If carbon dioxide is available, then only the photosynthesis takes place. In higher classes, we are going to discuss about several experiments related to this photosynthesis. So, concept you have to remember: what are the requirements, what are the products, okay, what is the equation. So, all the questions are related to that, surrounds or rotates around that equation only. Okay, children. Next, what are the two major limiting factors of photosynthesis? Important limiting factor, carbon dioxide. The two major limiting factors here: concentration of carbon dioxide and temperature, temperature and oxygen concentration, oxygen concentration and carbon dioxide concentration, glucose concentration and oxygen concentration. Okay, here limiting factor means reactants. Okay, you have to keep in mind the reactants. So here the options, if you see, carbon dioxide is a reactant and the temperature is the condition. Next, in the second option, temperature is a condition but oxygen is a product. Here again, oxygen concentration, the product, carbon dioxide concentration, reactant. And in the fourth option, glucose is the product, oxygen is the product. So what is the correct answer here? A, concentration of carbon dioxide and temperature. Next, most of the oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere was produced by, or what is the source of oxygen in this, on this Earth? A big explosion, photosynthesis, digestion, metabolism. The most of the oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere was produced by, what is that? Yes, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis adds oxygen to the atmosphere and removes some amount of carbon dioxide. So it is very, very important to grow the green plants, to make the Earth a green planet. Abundant oxygen added to the atmosphere. Okay, fresh air. That's the reason why for recreation we will go to the parks where you can obtain more oxygen, isn't it? Okay, let us proceed. Most of the oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere was produced by, again, photosynthesis. Apart from the plant, which microorganism also do photosynthesis? Apart from the plant, which microorganism also do photosynthesis, also undergo photosynthesis? Algae and cyanobacteria, fungi, paramecium, amoeba. Come on children, think and answer. What is cyanobacteria? Cyanobacteria is nothing but a blue-green algae. Blue-green algae. Here remaining all organisms, heterotrophs, fungi, paramecium and amoeba. So here the right option is A, algae and cyanobacteria. Blue-green algae. Absorptive heterotrophic nutrition is exhibited by fungi, algae, pteridophytes, bryophytes. The different group of organisms are given. So what is the right answer? Absorptive heterotrophic nutrition means saprophytic nutrition. So here the option is A. Among all these, the non-green plant is fungi. So absorptive heterotrophic nutrition is exhibited by fungi. Next, what is the mode of nutrition in bacteria? What is the mode of nutrition in bacteria? Heterotrophic nutrition, autotrophic nutrition, symbiotic nutrition, all of the above. So bacteria are universal. Bacteria present everywhere. Bacteria lives in variety of habitats. Okay, children. Some bacteria lives at very high temperature. Some bacteria lives at very low temperatures. Cryophilic bacteria, thermophilic bacteria. Okay, acidophilic bacteria. In acids also they survive. So, what is the mode of nutrition in bacteria? All of the above. Heterotrophic nutrition, autotrophic nutrition, certain bacteria like cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, they undergo autotrophic nutrition. Symbiotic nutrition we have studied. What is the example for symbiotic bacteria? Yes, Rhizobium bacteria, which helps in nitrogen cycle or which fix the nitrogen in the soil. Especially these bacteria are present in the soil. Rhizobium bacteria. They are present in the root nodules of groundnut plant. If you pick out the groundnut plant, roots have some granules like, okay, that is inside that this bacteria are present. When you take the section of that groundnut root and observe under the microscope, you will see the bacteria, Rhizobium bacteria. But these are microorganisms. We cannot see with our naked eyes. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.